And your name?
I don't think I have to give you my name, do I?
No, that's what I said to you twice. You don't have to give you your name.
That's fine.
All that was going to be where they were going to get the evidence for this conspiracy from, which has much broader ramifications for filmmakers and journalists generally, because it puts them front and centre in terms of people likely to be sued, because then you can drag all the documents and the information that they've gathered into court.
I had no idea that the footage that I had been gathering was actually going to be used as evidence. I was mortified that the things I'd been doing to try and help the community were now going to harm them. And my very right to film and to continue my work as a filmmaker was under question. I remember you calling me and asking me to stop filming any independently organised protests. So why did you do that then?
At the time, I asked you to stop filming independent actions because we were clearly under surveillance. You in particular were clearly under surveillance. The only way they could have even started making the allegations was to have people under surveillance.
I didn't know if I was just being paranoid, but sometimes I could see strange men following me and taking photos of me, especially if I was with other defendants in public places. And I was scared. This was where I was living at the time, alone. And then one day I found this camp directly across from my house where it was obvious that somebody had been spending a lot of time watching me. And I didn't feel safe to live in my own home anymore.
I filmed the only thing I was allowed to. Me.
I just feel so disempowered now. And I don't really know why. I just think that having somebody tell you that you're so wrong. And sometimes I just want to die. I remember calling you when I was having a breakdown. You were the person I spoke to. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. I do remember it quite well. And what you experienced, and you were the first to experience it, that level of fearfulness, within 2 years was being widely experienced throughout the organisation and throughout all of the litigants as well.
7 months after we received the writ from Guns, the judge threw it out of court, saying the claims were vague and didn't make a clear case for a conspiracy.
I've been fighting a fair bit of depression about this case, and I don't really want to put all my eggs in this basket and think, oh yeah, this is the end, because I just can see this continuing on. Guns is probably already working on another writ.
Sure enough, Guns did come back to court, armed with a new writ, 3 times the size of the first one.
Is this the stuff they referred to right at the end?
I knew it was another work of fiction, but that wasn't the point. Guns was winning by tying us up in court.
In the courts, Guns had the firepower, the money, the silks, and they've put aside millions to fight this case, of shareholders' money, not theirs. But the individuals who are fighting to protect the forest are personally exposed, while the board of Guns and its CEO sits in splendid, isolated protection, knowing that even if they lose the case, it's not going to cost them a penny. That's wrong.
Shagged out after a hard day in the court.
So how did it make you feel generally by the end of the day, though?
Oh, just cranky. Such a waste of money and time. Everybody's sitting there and thousands and thousands of dollars tied up in that courtroom. They don't care about winning. They can't win. They can, however, bankrupt us.
I was angry and frustrated and powerless to fight back. But the attack on us brought out many new supporters. One of them was Paul, a committed activist leading the pulp mill campaign.
Don't look at me.
Hello, honey.
Paul taught me to smile again. And we fell in love.
Hello, how are you speaking?
Version 3 of the statement of claim has been chucked out. The judge just went for the fact that they were basically claiming too much against too many people.
I kind of expected it to be thrown out because it's so ridiculously huge, this allegation against all of the 20 of us. So, and what is it now? It's been almost 2 years.
Well, they've got to do something different in order to resubmit it, because the judge has made it plain, according to Greg, that if they put in the same crap again, they're going to cop it big time.
I was trying to get on with my life, but there was no stopping Guns. Every time the company was thrown out of court, it came back again and again. Guns wasn't giving up on its pulp mill plans either. While we continued to fight Guns in court, the Tasmanian government bypassed planning procedures and fast-tracked the mill.
We couldn't sit by and let the opportunities presented for Tasmania by the pulp mill slip through our fingers.
Guns had staked everything on the mill and needed to borrow over $2 billion to build it. My boyfriend Paul led a campaign targeting banks and other investors to make them aware of what Guns were up to. After months of lobbying and protest, the strategy worked. The ANZ Bank withdrew their support for the pulp mill, quickly followed by the other big three Australian banks. This was a major setback for Guns. Throughout the long years of the court case and the controversy, the forests continued to fall. Though the court case still loomed over me, I decided to follow my heart.
Yeah, we'll be sunny. You all right, mate? Yeah, good, mate. Thanks for hanging out down there. No, it's not a problem. Cheers. Good luck with it. Thank you.
But I was tying my new husband into this legal nightmare. And together, we risked losing everything. Back in court, the judge ordered mediation to see if we could avoid a lengthy trial. We met with Guns' lawyers.
For the last month we've been going through mediation, and I've just had some really exciting news that I'm finally out of the case. Yes! I have now regained my freedom of speech.
After 4 years of proceedings costing millions of dollars, Guns had failed to substantiate its claims and agreed to drop its case against me and the Wilderness Society. But other defendants still faced going to trial. However, I was finally free to fight for the forests again. There was one European bank still considering financing Guns' mill. I made a new film that revealed what was really going on.
We had heard that there was one Scandinavian bank who was considering seriously investing in the project. And so we organised a meeting and I said, look, before we start talking, I just need to let you see what you're joining your brand to.
The film showed a napalm-like substance being dropped from helicopters to burn away what remained after logging. Within days of my film being released on the internet, thousands of the bank's customers threatened to close their accounts. The bank joined a long list of investors who refused to fund the mill.
They had this company doing two things that appalled them. One was, destroying these beautiful forests, and the other was suing people for standing up and trying to defend them.
With its share price in freefall, Guns desperately needed to reform its reputation. The trial for the remaining 4 defendants was just weeks away. On the very eve of the trial, after 5 years of legal warfare, Guns conceded defeat.
Guns have totally capitulated and that we've just had a resounding victory.
All the remaining Guns 20 defendants were now free.
You're supposed to drink the whole bottle.
We had always hoped that Guns would be part of the solution. Certainly the purpose of the campaign was never to destroy Guns, it was to protect the forests.
After dropping the case against us, and under new management, Guns announced it would stop logging native forests. But it was too late. Abandoned by investors and the public, the company collapsed.
What history shows is if the shareholders listened to us earlier, they'd be $1.5 billion better off than they are today.
I know I paid a really high price by getting involved in this story. I'd like to think that I would do it all again and be brave enough to be a witness and a filmmaker to an issue that was dividing the community.